Yes. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, people. Conor Gallagher, we know the medical is done, and that means that behind the scenes they're making pretty videos to tell us. Pretty videos. So we all go, ooh, that's exciting. So we're all waiting for the Conor Gallagher deal to be announced. We know that he's signing now. So that's absolutely fine. So everyone can stop worrying that this is another Morgan Gibbs White scenario. Also today, we're going to be talking about all these things. Also today, Alejo Valise, another failed punt by Tottenham Hotspur a few years back, buzzed around the squad for a couple of months, been out on loan a couple of times, and now it looks like he is leaving us for Brazil. Bad, is it? I might go and live in Brazil. Sounds fun. So Valise looks like he's going for 10 million euros. When you then, we'll talk about all of this in more detail. When you then take the money spent on Gallagher and Souza, and then the money received for Valise and Johnson, I believe it means that Spurs have spent roughly 3.4 million, someone said. Somewhere in the 3.4, 3.7, something like that. So there are those that will call it clever accounting, and there are those that will say lack of ambition. I'll let you guys make up your mind. But listen, we love a transfer window, don't we? It is satisfying as much as it is frustrating in equal measures, depending on any given day. What we do know is that Tottenham seem to be moving slightly different, don't they? But before I get into that, for anyone that wants sports clothing and football shirts, go to OK Jersey. I'll leave you to find their website. And if anyone hasn't played Match Bingo, please do. It's good fun. And you can use the code. You can use the code FHTV for Match Bingo and the code Savva for 8% off with OK Jersey. Smash the likes. I mean, I tell you what, you guys have always been so good to me and watching, but absolutely rubbish with the likes. Absolutely rubbish with the likes. So let's get that done for once. First and foremost, 46 likes. There's 260 of you in here already. I know that Sean is sending people over. And listen, I just watched Sean's show and agreed with a lot of what he said, disagreed with a lot of what he said. But got to give it. There are not many YouTubers I find that are engaging enough to go live on their own for a couple of hours. Big up to Sean, because he definitely is one of those. And you know what? Like when Sean and I first started working together, I think we clashed so much. And then we realized that we meet in the middle with a lot, but we're wildly different on many different things. But always appreciated his ability to put the camera on, go live and actually talk. And it doesn't matter if you agree with somebody all the time, right? It doesn't matter. It's good to listen to. And that's what I like. I like switching on YouTube creators where they're not talking about each other being in the mud, all that kind of stuff. I like it when I can hear them talking about football, giving an opinion, and I think, yeah, I like that. I don't agree with it, but I like that. So big up, Sean, and big up to any of you who have just been over there watching him in his live stream. So where are we as a football club? Well, you could say that Spurs are moving differently. Now, this is definitely an opinion where everybody can make their own mind up. Do you think Spurs are moving differently? Now, that's going to be a number of different factors based on the individual, right? Based on the individual. So are we moving differently from in the main, the players we're looking at? Now, you could say in the summer, we looked at Morgan Gibbs White. Again, senior, solid Premier League season pro. We were looking at Morgan Rogers, same. Eze, same. Kudus, got him the same. Paulinho, the same. This window, Conor Gallagher, same. Obviously, Souza will be the outlier in terms of a youngster coming in, but we always do one in the window. Like Takai was that guy in the summer. Looks like Souza is the guy in this window. Now, I don't have a problem with that per se, but it's got to be complemented, hasn't it, with top season pros. And what I'm starting to see, by the way, is a few people who initially went in with their, oh my God, Conor Gallagher, oh, he's the worst. I started to see there, well, on reflection, and actually, I'm not actually, I do think this could be good. And actually, he does bring something more. And what I appreciate people to do that, by the way, because I think some of those people have actually taken a step back and gone, you know what? There's more to it than, is he the ball playing number 8? There's more to it. It's his personality. It's his professionalism. It's his maturity. It's his energy. It's his work rate. It's his leadership. It's all of these different things where sometimes I think we have to take a little step back and go, yeah, that really does make sense. And that is exactly what Spurs need. And also, I think what we're very bad at as a fan base is we're very bad at seeing the bigger picture. We think that every signing is going to be the last signing. And I get it, because our board have been really bad for years and years and years, right? Right, hang on, don't eat that, mate. Good boy. Don't eat that. We've been really, really bad at years and years for doing this, right? But for me, too many people, when they saw the Conor Gallagher news, straight away went, oh, we need a ball playing number 8. And I don't disagree with that. I disagree that that doesn't mean we need a Gallagher. And I think some people now, I've seen through their posts and their videos, they've taken a step back and gone, actually, yeah, this is good. This is very good. This is what we need. And again, I think this is correct. I think this guy is on another level to the other midfielders at the club we've got. I think he is superior to all of them. Now, Paulinho, we know, is a brilliant DM, but as an all-round player, Conor Gallagher's miles better than Paulinho. He is years and years and miles better than Bergvall, Gray and Sarr. And Bentancur, it's a shame, isn't it? What could Bentancur have been without those injuries? We'll never know. We'll never know. So for me, I think it's a really solid, sensible signing. I'm going to show you in a bit as well. I read a really good article by Ali Gold, talking really sensibly about this signing and what it does for Spurs. And he talked there were 5 bullet points. There were 5 bullet points, and we're going to go through them because I like Ali Gold. I think Ali Gold speaks really well. He's the sort of person I'd love to have a football chat with. I think he talks really well, really calmly. I think he's not afraid to say when he thinks things are wrong at the club. But again, when I read that article, I thought, yes, this is what I think more reactionary Spurs fans need to see. Before everyone starts talking like they're Pep Guardiola and everyone's I can't take credit for this, but a tactico, everyone thinks that they're Pep Guardiola now, don't they? Everyone goes, well, if he plays there and he plays... Look, for me, I'm of the opinion, right? And I've always been of the opinion, more important than anything, build a good squad. Give yourself options and build a good squad. It can't constantly be about, we just need that one position. We need many positions. Now, it could be that the ball playing number 8 that apparently the club won, maybe that character isn't available now. Now, I don't know. I'm just giving some examples. Maybe there's a few players that they like, but they've been told, well, look, you can have him, but not in January. Or we'll consider letting him go, but not in January. Now, if that's the case, that's fine. But you've got to start building a squad. And again, sorry, Philly, I love you to bits, but he's not a water carrier. He's not a water carrier. I think that's so, I think we're so lazy. Sorry, I'll say it. Sorry, Philly, I love you, man, but it's such a lazy analysis. If anyone actually goes and watches his game, like how he breaks up plays, sets up moves, how he drives forward with a ball, his recovery tackles, we're really, really harsh on certain players and really rate some poor players. I feel like we're so backwards so much of the time. And I've been sent loads of snippets today from people on X and stuff. And you can always tell it's the young kids who wear sliders and stuff and say things like, he's a baller, he's a baller, he's a baller. And they're talking about people like Papa Sarr, who is not a baller, is he? He's a good athlete. He's not a baller. The same fans that rate those players are the same ones saying, don't want Conor Gallagher, wouldn't want Akliouche, who we'll talk about a little bit later. And That for me is, I'll be honest, guys and girls, I've never been able to wrap my head around these types of people. I've never been able to wrap my head around that. You've got the people going, right now, I see people going, don't want Akliouche. But again, oh, I like Tell, I like Odegaard. And I'm like, have you seen Akliouche compared to Tell and Odegaard? Like the levels in footballers. But we will sit there and go, oh, I'll tell you what, give it 3 years. Sure. Yeah. In 3 years, we'll see what happens in 3 years. Of course, that's fine. But, you know, I don't understand. It's almost as though people have got favourite players and they must back them no matter what. They must back them no matter what. And that's fine, but it's not the truth all the time, is it? It's not the truth. Those people that are willing to die on a hill for Tell will die on that hill for Tell, right? And it's not that I don't think in a few years he could be really good. Sure, any young player could be really good in a few years. But right now, there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I acknowledge we need better. There's nothing wrong with that, but some people can't. Yeah, some people can't. But look, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think this is a real, yeah, he absolutely is levels above him. He's absolutely levels above them technically. The way he moves, the way he passes, his dribbling. This is ridiculous. This is again, this is what I mean, Alex. This is exactly what I mean. Levels above them. Watch him play. Technically, he's superb compared to these guys. His movement, his touch, his control, his dribbling, his passing. It is levels. But this is what I mean, guys and girls. See, again, he's not. Okay, cool. He's not. Then let's stick with these players and we'll all be happy. Let's stick with these players and we'll all be happy. It's you can believe this, but this is based off nothing. Again, Alex, you drive me crazy. You seem to love every youngster. That's great, but I actually want to see them do it. I'm not into could be better in 4 years. I don't care. Right now, it's not the year 2030. We're in 2026. 2026. And this is what I mean. Fans like Alex talk a great game. Get these owners out. Really glad what Romero did. But then they're just championing 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. Now, what about now? Right now, Akliouche, just using him as the example, is levels above those two. Technically, Tell and Odegaard are very poor for me. Technically, in terms of touch, control, movement, poor. They've got energy, they drive, and that's fine. But technically, right? Technically, when you watch a footballer play, you can see it a million miles off. You can see it a million miles off. And unfortunately, we seem to have become a fan base that seem to rate running around more than technical ability. And it's strange. We seem to have so many fans that want to support the under-21s rather than actually worried about the first team. Look, we can deal with the year 2030. How about we deal with the year 2030 in 2030? Like, let's not worry about that now. Right? Let's not worry about that now. Spurs need many players. We need many players. We need technically competent footballers that can control a ball, that have really good technique. Tell, Odegaard, Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, these guys haven't got it. They are not technical. And we can say it till the cows come home. The only way people like Alex will learn is when these better footballers come in. I saw there were posts this morning. Someone posted something on X saying, Adeyemi, not at the level we need. And you're like, sorry? Like, who do these people actually think we're getting? And it baffles me. I'm truly baffled by this. It's like I've spent years with people that are just constantly telling me how great these young players are. Constantly. I will rate them when they get there. But we are Tottenham. We are Tottenham. We should not be sitting here going in 4 years, in 3 years. What about now? I see yesterday when we were linked with Alex Garcia, people are going, oh, but he's 28. He's not one for the future. What? Again, everyone wants children. Everyone wants children. Everyone wants children. And I don't understand it. Everyone as well, like Alex, I'll call him out on this, thinks they know every young player's stealing. Everyone. Oh, but I'll tell you what, I've heard this before Alex was even born. I've been hearing this about players up and down the country at Spurs. I hear it every single season. This player, that player, this player, that player, this player, that player. Hardly any of them ever make it. And then next year, they'll be saying it's someone else. Next year, it will be someone else. I heard this when Valise joined. People going, oh, God, that boy should get a run of games in the team. Cool, look, he's big, he's strong, he scores goals. It's like, oh, come on. Like, and some of them, a few of them might make it big. They might, a few of them. But we think everyone's going to make it big. You got those that are dying on the hill for Bergval's going to be quality. And the line that always goes with him is, I think he could be world class. If you're world class, if you're going to be world class, you see something now, like immediately. You see something where you go, core, you can play. Yeah? Yamal, right? You got those that will die on the hill for him. Those that will die on the hill for Gray. Those that want to die on the hill for Bergval, Gray, Tell, Odeber. Like it's just constant over and over and over again. I heard this with Andros Townsend, Tommy Carroll, Winks, Sissoko, Mason, John Bostock, Dean Parrott, Troy Parrott. It's constant. And then if somebody of my age who's seen this year after year after year, if I do not get on and go, oh my God, they're amazing, right? People go, oh, Savva hates the youth. No, I don't. But let's wait and see, right? Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what actually happens with them before pretending. Can't just say they'll be better in 3 years or 4. We don't know that. I haven't seen anything to me that suggests that Odeber will be good in 3 or 4 years. I see him as a player that runs around. Yeah, Wayne Routledge is another one. Wayne Routledge. Look, we do this with everybody. And you know the problem is everyone thinks they're a tactico. Everyone talks about ceilings. Go on to X, right? And how many of these kids talk about a player's ceiling? What does that mean? No one knows. No one knows what that means. Everyone goes, that 17, 18-year-old should be in the first team. How do you know? So what do you know that the coaches and the manager don't know? Do you know what I mean? Like if we look at it, let's break it down. By the way, yes, everybody. Yes, I have seen the Paratici news. Yes, we will get there shortly. Let's go to the Tottenham official page. You know, everybody does this every year. Everybody second guesses. So now what I'm seeing a lot of online, what I'm seeing loads of online is, oh, I feel sorry for these youngsters because they won't progress under Frank. And it's like, whoa, hang on. So we want better players to arrive, right? We want better players to arrive at the club. We want better results, but we also want the manager to blood in 4 or 5 youngsters at the same time. Which one is it? Like which one is it? What is it that these kids on X know that Thomas Frank or Ange, these managers that are not playing these kids, what do they know that these managers don't? What do they know? Oh, these 17, 18-year-olds should be playing in the first team. Based on what? Oh, well, I watched a youth game once. And, I just feel like everything is so dramatic. Everything is so dramatic. Everyone's a generational talent. Everyone has got the ability to scout players now. Everyone's got the ability to put tactics together. Everybody, Bergval's an 8. No, he's a 6. No, he's a 10. No, he plays off the channel. No, he's it. How do any of you know? How does anyone know? You can guess. You can't be going, oh, well, what Frank needs to do is blood this guy in the number 8. What do you mean? What do you mean? I just find it hilarious. Everyone's a youth expert. Everybody. Everybody. Anyway, should we get to, before we go back to Gallagher and Akliouche and all those sorts of things, the worst kept secret in football, right? Is that Tottenham have confirmed it, haven't they? Shock. Oh, Paratici. We can confirm that our sporting director, Fabio Paratici, will leave the club in February to join Fiorentina. Right. Well, thanks for letting us know what we already knew. Let's see what it actually says, shall we? Here we go. We can all read this together. This will be fun, won't it? Oh, no, that hasn't come up, has it? Hang on. Where is that? Hang on. There you go. Let me remove that. Let me add. Stop the screen. Nope. Bear with me. Here we go. Add screen. Share screen. Here we go. Paratici. There we go. I'll get rid of that. Right. Here we go. Let's have a little read along together, shall we? For anyone that is hard of sight. Here we go. It says we can confirm that our sporting director, Fabio Paratici, will leave the club in February to join Fiorentina. Breaking news. Fabio will join the Serie A side following the conclusion of the winter transfer window, bringing an end to 2 spells at Hotspur Way. 2 spells. Brilliant. The first of which began in the summer of 2021. Hence why I don't care that he's going. Between 2021 and 2026, look at the squad him and Lang have built. Tottenham Hotspur Chief Executive Officer Vinay Venkatesham has said, "We've agreed that Fabio will return to Italy following the conclusion of the January window, in line with his wish to move back home. We thank Fabio for his contributions to the club and wish him well for the future. Our management structure is designed to be resilient to personnel changes." Oh, this is brilliant. And it will be business as usual moving forward. Go on, Spurs. How to spin a good story. Fabio added, "I want to thank Vinay and the board of Tottenham for accommodating my desire to return to Italy and Fiorentina. I have loved my time at the club. However, the opportunity, together with the need to be based in my homeland, has led me to this decision. Spurs is a club that is very close to my heart. It has great people working for it who are as passionate about the project as I am, sure, and want to bring sustained success. I have no doubt they will achieve that, and I will be watching closely from Italy." Everyone in the chat, let me know your thoughts. What's your immediate thoughts? We knew it was happening. It's now confirmed. He is interested in our success, and he's going to be keeping a check from abroad. What are we going to make of this, people? Does anyone care? Are people happy? Look, again, Alex is the oracle of all things football, not you. So Alex, Paratici left because he wanted to sack Frank. You have not, again, all paper talk. Again, Maz, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's look, I don't mind in terms of him going. It's not him going. I just find it so funny that every time we implement a structure, it's like it's ripped apart very, very quickly. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the question is going to be now, is it Lang? Is it Lang that's going to take the reins? Or does anybody think that we're going to bring somebody else in? Does it think that anyone else is going to be coming in? Look, it's not really news, is it? It's. I suppose it's news because Spurs have broken it, but we've known this for weeks, right? We've known this for weeks. Look, lots of reports saying he wanted to go back to Italy. It's actually with his girlfriend. There are reports that he wanted to sack Frank. I mean, I have no idea. All I know is he's going. And at the moment, you've got Lang in charge. Dude, I've noticed every time you come in here, you say something horrible to me. I'll tell you what, try rewriting this sentence. Try spelling a simple word like Savva correctly. All you got to do is add one more letter and you've spelt my name correctly. Right? He's worse than Tell and you got on Tell's back. Sorry, you think Adeyemi is worse than Matisse Tell. Guys, I don't know what to do with this fan, but genuinely, when other fan bases look in and laugh at the state of our fans, it's hard to, it's not hard to understand why. It is what it is, right? Look, I don't, by the way, Adeyemi isn't even like one of my first choices. I haven't even, by the way, haven't even talked about Adeyemi. I haven't even talked about Adeyemi. But it is hilarious. We genuinely have fans that would want Tell over Adeyemi. Like, let that sink in. We have genuinely got fans that back Tell and Odegaard, but don't want Akliouche. I can tell who knows a footballer and who doesn't. Honestly, you can tell who knows a player and who doesn't. But we'll come to Adeyemi in a minute. Anyway, that's the news on. There's not really much to say, is there, on Paratici? You know, I've never been a big fan of his on both occasions. Really, I don't. I don't really care. I don't think he's done a great job. When you look at the squad that's been assembled over the two sporting directors, that's why we're in the mess we're in. So let's see what happens. Biggest question is going to be, is it Lang, or are we going to bring somebody else in? Look, we're going to talk about Adeyemi, and I don't believe the links with Adeyemi, by the way. Let me just put that straight out there. I haven't seen any reputable source actually say Adeyemi. I've seen some really low-level, low-hanging fruit kind of sources say it. Akliouche, we have got a lot more to go on. But we'll have a look at both of them as players. I like both of them, but for very different reasons. They're very different footballers. They're very, very different footballers, aren't they? One is very much a speedster. I'm going to drive with the ball and pace and power down the line. The other one is more of a link-up player. Akliouche is technically brilliant. He is we saw it when he played us. When it's funny for all those Spurs fans going, "Oh, Akliouche is not what we need." Did anyone see when Monaco played Spurs? Akliouche ran the game, and I'm sitting there going, "I want players like that. I want players like that in our team. Good technical footballers." I nearly said ballers, and I never say that. Good technical footballers. He's a baller. Good technical footballers that when the ball goes into them, they kill the ball, stone dead. They take it in their stride if they need to. They've got the touch. They've got the control, the passing. And we've got people that go, "No, I wouldn't want him. I want good footballers. I want good footballers. I like footballers that are technical, right? I like people." First of all, here's what I was always taught as a kid and when I did my coaching badges. Right? I like players that can take the ball in tight areas and are comfortable with that. We don't have those players. Kudus can do it. Kudus can take the ball in tight areas and hold on to it. Right? Maddison can. He's obviously out injured. Kane was excellent at that. The master at that was this guy. David Ginola was the master at it. Get David Ginola the ball, right? Get him the ball. Doesn't matter if he's got 2-3 men around him. He is comfortable enough with his technical ability. His first touch takes him into the right positioning, right? And brilliant. Akliouche is one of them. Very comfortable with a ball at his feet, whether he's off the left, off the right, through the middle, right? Very, very comfortable. By the way, look at the size of that ice cube. Look at that. It's like an iceberg, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the size of that bad boy. Hasn't even shrunk. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. 1 second. It's players like that I think we're desperate for. I think we're absolutely desperate for technical footballers. Yes, I want people who can run and beat a man. Absolutely. And this is the problem. I think we need so much. And this is why the whole conversation about Gallagher isn't what we need. Yeah? Gallagher isn't what we need. Gallagher isn't what we need. But we need all sorts. We need so much. And we got so many fans that are like that. Tunnel vision. We need this. No, we need this, and this. Give the manager options. Give a manager options. Right, today, do I need to play an Akliouche off the right as more of a hold up the ball, bring others into the game, or do I need more of a Kudus who wants to get down the touchline and get crosses in? Give him the option. Do I want more of a ball carrying midfielder in the number 10 like Kulu, or do I want more of a player who's going to dictate from the number 10 like Maddison? Give them options. Give them options. Give them options. Yeah, I'm the only Spurs fan saying Gallagher is good. Yeah, it must be why Diego Simeone wanted him. Must be why Pochettino said what he said about him and made him his captain. I tell you what, that Pochettino knows nothing about football, does he? I'll ask this person, do you want Pochettino back? And we know you're a troll. You've got no real name, no real picture. Do you want Pochettino back? Why would anyone be livid about Conor Gallagher when we've got Bergvall, Sarr and Gray? Why on earth would anyone be livid? It's just all YouTube sensationalism. This is a good, solid Premier League signing. Robbo, I tell you what, mate. And again, comments like this, again, no thought has gone into this. See, all the data doesn't show that as well. Watch him play. This is the level of knowledge of football fans, right? This is trolling. He runs around like a headless chicken. Wow. Let this sink in from whoever this is. Runs around like a headless chicken. Wow. Tell me you don't understand what a footballer does on a pitch without telling me you don't understand what a footballer does on the pitch. This is mad. His mentality, his ball control, his driving forward, his tackling, his engine. He's got good through balls if you actually watch him play. He gets assists, he scores goals. And we've got fans saying he's a headless chicken. I'm truly worried about our fan. I'm so worried about portions of this fan base. So worried. So worried about portions of this fan base. I'll tell you what, for a headless chicken, let's have a look. Yep, let's have a look how bad Tells has got this wrong. So this was his last season at Chelsea. Yeah, look how headless he was with those assists and those chances created and those duels won and the tackles won and the interceptions and the possession won. Headless chickens don't do that. They just run around. This guy is running around and making things count offensively and defensively. Let's show another one to show that Tells has just had an absolute nightmare, right? Let's have another one, shall we? This is mad. Right? That's not the one I wanted. Look at this. Touches under pressure. Headless chickens can't have touches under pressure like that. That shows that he is quality on the ball. Look at it. Look at the company he's there with. Rodri, Guimaraes, your Phil Fodens, your Bernardo Silvas, your Declan Rices. Now, what people are doing is they are saying, but look at him at Atletico. Again, I bet those people have not done any research or watched Spanish football to understand what's happened at Atletico Madrid, right? At Atletico Madrid, they play a very different way of football to over here. So let's have a look. At Atletico Madrid, right, they play, look, see, in the 4-4-2 or the 5-3-2. We don't play those formations. And he wasn't playing that formation when he was at Chelsea. He was playing the formation that he is now, right? So you can see at Atletico, he's been used on the left and on the right, right? Nearly 50% of the time has not been in the middle of the park. But again, people don't want to look at that. He's got excellent ball carrying, excellent first touch. He's got very quick feet. Honestly, I'm truly baffled. I'm truly baffled at at these people. Rich, it's madness, isn't it? It's utter madness. It's truly mad. He's played everywhere and anywhere for Atletico Madrid. And when you actually look at the data for a lot of the Atletico Madrid players, not a lot of going forward. When you watch him when he was at Chelsea, right? Very different. He's a good, solid Premier League player. I cannot understand the hate. I genuinely don't understand. And I think that's the difference. When I've watched a lot of Sky Sports lately and I'm watching the ex-pros, when I watch the ex-pros talk about him, they all understand what he does. They all understand why he's important to the team. When I listen to fans, right, you can tell they haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Headless chicken. Wow. Wow. Headless chicken. Let that sink in. Look at this. Headless chicken. Progressive passes. Final third passes. Big chances created. Goal contributions. Headless chicken, that. I'm just truly worried that fans don't know footballers. I don't spend my time analysing data. I use these to watch him and then get the data to back it up. I use these. I don't come onto chat shows and say stupid things like, "Oh, he's a dead baller" or "a headless chicken." Headless chicken. We want to have a look at Papasar and Bergvall if we want to talk about headless chickens, don't we? Listen, I think this is going to be one of those where by the end of the season, a lot of fans will be going, "Oh, I'm glad we bought Gallagher." His ethos to football, right? Look what Potts said about him. Do you see what Peter Cech said about him? Peter Cech said he's a winner. Said in and around the training ground, he's a winner. On the training ground, he's a winner. In games, he gives everything. He gives everything. Everything. Diego Simeone wanted to buy him. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? As I said, I worry. I worry about us. Exactly. Just because I'm direct doesn't mean I'm being rude or nasty. I hate this when people do this. Oh, you're being mean. No, not being rude. I've just been direct. If people are going to say silly things, if people are going to say silly things like he's headless chicken, I'll call it out. Right? That's what I do on my show. I talk to comments, some that I like, some that I don't. His leadership, his tenacity, his work rate, his leadership skills on the pitch will make people sit up and realise what a good signing he was. Right? They will. But there's too many that don't seem to understand that every club needs one. Now, let's have a look. Henderson, what he's done at Liverpool and now Brentford. Xhaka, what he's doing for years at Arsenal, then Leverkusen, now at Sunderland. Every club needs a players like that. No, listen to what I said. Listen, as an all-round player, again, people have got to listen to what I'm saying. As I said, as a DM, Paulinho is clear. But as an all-round player, all-round in terms of defending and going forward, chance creation, goals, assists, passing, he is miles better. Because all of those are not the same profile of football. Again, tells they're all a different profile to Conor Gallagher. This is what I mean. You've just named 3 playmakers. You've just named 3 attacking playmakers. Conor Gallagher is not the same position as Morgan Rogers, Bellingham or Foden. They're very different footballers. By the way, Spurs aren't going to get Morgan Rogers, Bellingham or Foden. I don't understand. I don't understand right. Who would you have wanted Tells in centre mid instead of him as that profile of player? And a lead, absolutely. A leader. We need strong characters. He's always fit. Yes. I think in the future he will be a captain, especially if Poch comes back. He will be. And again, Matt, yeah, maybe. I don't ever mean to be rude, but I'm just, You got to remember, I spend all day getting just comments just aimed at me on YouTube, right? So I hit back and I just say how I feel. Big up to you, my man. It's look, I see this all the time. People say, "Oh my God, but so and so have got that player, and we're getting Gallagher." Yeah, but so and so can get a better player. Now, I want to show you this, right? I want to show you this because I thought this was a really, really good article from. I thought this was a really good article by Ali Gold. And again, it shows the difference between someone that's actually taken the time to actually look into this rather than just saying things like he's a headless chicken, right? So let's have a look. Have a look. I thought this was really good, right? So here is Ali Gold on Football London. And he said here, what Mauricio Pochettino said about Gallagher and the 5 reasons Tottenham are signing him, right? And I thought, okay, let's have a look at this. This could be quite good. Goes on to say Tottenham are set to complete Aston Villa, are set to see off competition for Conor Gallagher. Then goes on to say that Postecoglou called for the signing of the England international. We know that he wanted him and we didn't get him. And here's the 5 reasons. And again, this is what, again, people like Tells, all these people on YouTube losing their mind for clicks and likes have to take a step back and have a look at some of these things. Yeah? They have to look at some of these things. As fans, we don't seem to take these things into account. We don't. It says here, experienced leader. He might only be 25, but Gallagher has experienced a lot. He has played for 3 different Premier League clubs and taken on the challenge of La Liga. Fair play. While also playing 23 Champions League matches and 22 games for England. He's played for his country at a European Championship and been added to the squad for a World Cup. He also played in the Championship as a youngster to fully round off his development. On top of that, he's a leader, which is something this Spurs squad is lacking in the centre of the park, and his mentality has always been praised by those he has worked with. Again, our fans don't want to see that bit. The mentality, the leadership. Why is it that all the other pros and managers, get it, but our fans don't? Right? I think this is spot on. Read that again. He's a leader, which is something this Spurs squad is lacking in the centre of the park, and his mentality has always been praised by those he has worked with. Former Chelsea goalkeeper Peter Cech said of Gallagher in 2024, he's always been working hard. He's one of the players that always cared about winning and about the club. You find that even young players can have special abilities to be a leader. Conor is one of those. He's always worked hard, he's always cared, and he always tries his best. He's pushing, and he is one of the captains in the making because of the way he is. There is another Tottenham connection in Mauricio Pochettino, who managed Gallagher at Chelsea and frequently made the skipper in the absence of the injured Reece James. While the Blues wanted to sell Gallagher because of his profitability as an academy product, again, when our fans say things like, oh, Chelsea wanted to get rid of Gallagher, again, why? Why did they get rid of Gallagher? Again, it's so bigger picture, right? Said, while the Blues wanted to sell Gallagher because of his profitability as an academy product within the financial fair play rules, the Argentine would fight to keep him, right? And here is what Pochettino said. He is a player with great commitment to the team. He is always trying to compensate in every situation, in offensive and defensive situations. It's priceless to have a player like him. He is in the starting 11 nearly every game and one of the captains. For me, he is the type of player that the club need to have. He runs, he plays, he fights. He does everything to win. He is a really important player for the coaching staff, that the coaching staff want to have on the team. There's a reason that Unai Emery wanted to bring Gallagher to high-flying Villa, and now Tottenham will have him in their ranks instead. Now, before we move on to the chances created, have a look. Listen to all of that. And then tell me what is not to like. Everybody talks about him like this. You watch any pro that talks about Conor Gallagher talks like this about him. Leader. captain, right? Fights for everything. Good going forward. Good going backwards. Good in the middle. Right? Why? Why? If he's as bad as these people, if he's as bad as these people say, why are all these people so complimentary about him? This is why I don't think Spurs will ever be a big club. We don't know good players. We think everybody's got to be foreign, technically amazing. Now, I want that going forward, but this guy in the middle is perfect. This is perfect. But what about the Gallagher that was at Chelsea? What about the Gallagher that was at Chelsea and that was captain, that Pochettino talked about? Again, but this is just hearsay. He's a professional footballer, right? Doesn't matter if he's got love for Chelsea. All his family are Chelsea, by the way. So he will always have love for Chelsea. This isn't true. Footballers can love a club that they've grown up with and go and sign for another club, right? This isn't true. This is what fans think. This is what fans think, not how professionals think. It's a big difference. This is a big difference, right? Exactly, Ash. And again, look, a Chelsea flop. He didn't flop. Pochettino didn't want to sell him. He was his captain. Pochettino didn't want to sell him. They forced him out the club because of PSR. I don't, or FFP, whichever one it was. Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true. My mate works at Chelsea. It has done for years. He was there when I worked there. Friends with the family. Again, people need to do their homework. People have really got to do their homework on situations. Then when he moved to this, the second point, I think it's great. He said Gallagher will step in to fill the role left by Bentancur's 3-month absence. But he will bring a different profile to the Tottenham midfield. If people are expecting a bog standard City midfielder, then they will be surprised by the England international. He is comfortable at both ends of the pitch. Absolutely. And is an all-rounder with ferocious energy levels. Absolutely. To press and win the ball back half the pitch. Absolutely. While creating opening for others. Again, if anyone watches him, this is what he does. But instead they say he can't pass forward. He doesn't create. Watch him play with your eyes. Watch him. He is superb at this. He is superb at this. In 23-24, obviously his last season in the Premier League, right? He created 53 chances for his Chelsea teammates, the 10th highest number of the Premier League list of midfielders that season, with most above him being more attacking midfielders. Right? Again, this is the point. This is a solid, sensible signing. Not, oh my God, he's world class, but this is everything that we need. In a system like Frank's, which relies on high aggressive pressing to turn over the ball in key areas, Gallagher should revel in midfield. I agree. Completely agree. He has 68 goal involvements in 289 senior games, which is more than reasonable for a player in that position. To put that in context with Spurs' other senior midfielders, Bentancur has 44 goal involvements in 388. So let that sink in. 100 games more, yeah, and 24 goal involvements less. And João Paulinho has 35 in 73. Then, again, the out-of-favour Basuma has 17 in 280. So again, Gallagher's superior to all of those guys at that. Right? He's superior to all of those guys at all of those skill sets. Between them, the younger trio of Papa Matassar, Archie Grant, Bergvall have 58 goal involvements in total, but almost half of those came from the latter's time in Sweden, Sweden's different levels and cup. So the role he will be playing in Gallagher, the role he will be playing in Gallagher will step in terms of goal creation and scoring while not being expected to be the main playmaker as someone like Xavi Simons and eventually Kulusevski and later James Maddison will be. And again, this is really important. He's not being bought to be the main creative force. We need to understand that. He's not being bought as the main creative force. He is a number 8. He is a number 8. He's a different style of player to a ball-playing midfielder. Yes, we still need a ball-playing midfielder, but you've now got an out-and-out DM in Paulinho. You've got an out-and-out box-to-box who's good at both ends of the pitch in Gallagher. Now you need to go and get the out-and-out ball-playing midfielder. You've then got 3 different types of playmakers in Kulu, Maddison, and Xavi Simons. That is now building a better core of midfielders. We just need to get 2 of those back fit and get the ball-playing midfielder in. So this is a player that complements his teammates. This is a player that does a lot off the ball. This is a player that does a lot in terms of movement for his teammates. And again, we've just got so many that go, he's not a ball-playing number 8. We know that. We know that. We know that. Spurs have to go and buy that. Again, so people saying this, Gallagher isn't a DM. Gallagher is not a DM. People need, I feel like people have really got to go and watch these players play properly. I put up a really good 14-minute video of Conor Gallagher the other day. And you watch him. He is box to box. This is not a DM. Please, can we stop just saying silly things? It's getting ridiculous. No one's saying he is the greatest midfielder Tottenham have ever signed. No one's saying he is world class. But you need a squad. You need a squad with different profiles, with different skill sets. Right? And Conor Gallagher is perfect for that. It also says here, and this is really important, tells Enzo Fernandez was at the football club when Conor Gallagher was. Chelsea sold Conor Gallagher because of FFP rules and they were making money. They did it with Mason Mount. They did it with Tammy Abraham. They did it with so many of the homegrown players that came through because it's pure profit on the FFP and PSR. Enzo Fernandez was there when Conor Gallagher was there. Enzo Fernandez, by the way, was there when this happened. Enzo Fernandez was there in this season when Conor Gallagher was first or second in every rank for Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez was there. Please, can we stop changing the history? Please, can we stop making things up? Come on. Listen, I love Enzo Fernandez. I think he's a top footballer. But we've got to stop changing him. Pochettino hated that he was sold. Mate, stop this. I've not mentioned Tobes and Fuad once. Stop this, Sam. I've seen you mention them about 10 times. Tobes is my mate, right? Fuad is a friend. Stop this. If you showed them this, they would laugh because they know I wouldn't say anything bad about them. I never have. They are fantastic content creators, really top guys, and I consider them both to be friends. I know Tobes more than Fuad, but I've never had an issue with these guys. So please stop this nonsense, mate. You're being an idiot. Stop this. Stop this. All right? So again, it's not that important to the outside world, but Tottenham needed to start replacing their homegrown numbers in their Premier League squad. Again, something we overlook. We know all about the Champions League squad issues and the lack of club-trained players and falling number of association-trained players, which you can find, but you also need to have a minimum of 8 homegrown players in your Premier League squad. Spurs currently have 6 of those with the departure of Brennan Johnson, albeit they have others on the under-21s list, but they could lose Ben Davies in the summer at the end of his contract, and bringing in a new senior homegrown player in Gallagher can only be a good thing in that respect. there's also a certain sense of pride that the club to have England players in their ranks. And Gallagher will be hoping he can force himself into Tuchel's thoughts for the World Cup. Again, all of these different things that we're not thinking about. All of these different things, Savva. Guys, I don't know why I said my own name. All of these different things that the club have to think about, the player thinks about, the owners think about. But again, we only go, oh, this is mad. This is, again, a lot of this is to like. For me, there isn't anything to dislike. And again, look at what the situation that went down with Pochettino. Yeah. When Gallagher was sold underneath, he didn't want, they forced him out. Rob, look, we all know Sam's going to do this all the time. It's just what he does. He'll go into another show now and just say, oh, Savva said this about Fuad and Tobes. And I think you've all seen, I've not mentioned Fuad or Tobes once. It's ridiculous. The problem that we've got here is you can tell who actually has watched him. Like, I watch a lot of Spanish football. And when you watch the way Atletico play, they have a very, very specialist way of playing, which means that Gallagher has had to be very adaptable to playing different positions and hasn't allowed him to thrive as much in the central areas like his time at Chelsea and Palace. Right? I just think this is really good. I think this is a really good signing. I think a lot of people are going to change their mind. Yeah, sure. Look, I was surprised with their reactions, but you know, it's football, man. Like, do you know what? Like, the funny thing is, for example, I'll be at the pub on Saturday at Spurs with the likes of Sean and some of the other creators and whatever. Do you think everyone's just going to go, oh my God, I hate you because of your opinion? Or do you think everyone's going to sit around, have a pint and debate? You know what I mean? It's just madness. It's just madness. So look, for me, the last point was about the injuries and how few injuries he has. His injury record is exemplary. Exemplary. Now, when you look at all that, now people, can anyone tell me a negative? Can anyone tell me a negative now to signing Conor Gallagher when you've seen all of that? Right? All of his data is very good. Homegrown, leader, right? No injuries, right? I just think it's an absolute no-brainer. We used to have so many of these players when I was growing up. We used to have so many of these players when I was growing up. Not all, by the way, I'm not going to say all the exact same style, but used to have players that, look, Spurs had great players. Like, you know, people like Ellie and Mark who are in the chat will tell you, and any of you that are old enough, right, will tell you that we've had magnificent players in the centre of that park. You know, people like Hoddle, people like Gaza. But we also had players around them that allowed the Gazas and the Hoddles to thrive. Steve Perryman, right? Who remembers Johnny Pratt, right? Perryman, Pratt, David Howes, right? Sam. These players complemented the very skillful, creative ones. And you've got to have all sorts. And I'm sure that the older people in the chat will tell me that these people that we had in midfield that complemented the very creative ones. When Spurs played with Glenn Hoddle, it wasn't a midfield of 3 Glenn Hoddles, right? It wasn't 3 Glenn Hoddles. You had players that allowed Glenn Hoddle to go and be Glenn Hoddle, right? And right now, that's what we need. Yeah, Paul Allen is another one. Paul Allen, Steve Sedgley, David Howes, Pratt, Perryman, right? We've had loads. Players that allow others to go and do their job. And again, it's about relationship building. It's about squad building. Graham Roberts, another fantastic example, right? Scotty Parker. Scotty Parker, if we're bringing it more recent, this is the signing that I see Gallagher as. Pete, thanks for that. This is the signing. This is the signing I would most liken in recent years Conor Gallagher's signing to. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. I see this as very much a Scotty Parker type signing. A leader, a guy who gives his all. You know exactly what he's going to do in that midfield. He loves to drive forward with a ball, can pass a ball, right? He's, you know, by the way, for all those who say Scotty Parker, that Gallagher can't pass a football, please go and watch the compilation I put up the other day. Some of his passing is brilliant. Some of his passing is absolutely brilliant. People don't want to see it, though. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see it. Some of his cross-field passing when he was at Chelsea was absolutely brilliant, right? Some of his through balls in the combination of it, absolutely brilliant. But again, people don't see that because what they do is they see his strength is his energy and they go, oh, he can't do other things. Well, yes, he can. Here we go. For somebody with no through balls, right? For somebody who can't pass with no through balls, look at that. Big chances created, final third passes, progressive passes, goal contributions, carries into the final third. Look, it's mad. It's genuinely mad how people don't think he can pass a football. And again, what's happened is people who don't know football, trolls like this that think he's more like Lee Cattermole, they don't watch football. They don't. Honestly, guys, go and look at my community page. I posted a brilliant video compilation of this guy, and his passing range is brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's very good. Now, what people are saying is they've not seen it as much as Atletico. Sure, but that's the system that he played in. Again, go and watch how he's been playing for Atletico. Yes, but look at him in the Premier League. Go and have a look as well, the number of minutes, the positions he's played in, and the way they play. Again, people have got to go and do their homework. Again, I can tell who doesn't watch La Liga and who does. I can tell who doesn't watch it and who does. Neil, completely agree with you. Again, no one's over-opening him, saying he's very good for what we need right now. He's not an option. He would be our first choice midfielder. Mate, sorry, how can we take you serious when you said he's a headless chicken? You've not watched him play. It's sad, really. But sorry, what? System or competition? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Look, fine. I'll tell you, we don't like anyone. We don't like anyone. We genuinely don't like anyone, do we? Completely agree. Exactly. He's not a Wharton type player, but his passing's very good. His passing is very good. His switch of play is excellent, by the way. You go and do, again, anyone who wants to go and do the research, his switch of play is very good. Brilliant with his crossfield balls. Exactly, Rich. Again, people don't want to watch. People don't want to go and do their homework, mate. I'm telling you. People don't want to go and do their homework. Everyone wants a sexy name from abroad and the name they've got in their head. This is a really astute signing for Tottenham Hotspur. Really. This is a really good signing. This is a really good signing. And look, I feel like, you know, I feel like I've said it for years. I think a lot of our fans deserve lots of good things. A lot of our fans don't deserve anything. I'm going to say it again. Because Spurs make a really good, sensible signing. Premier League proven leader, midfielder, box to box, scores goals, assists, tackles back well, brilliant ball recoveries, captain, and our fans managed to turn it into a negative. I've never seen anything quite like it, if I'm honest. Telling you, when we buy a few more players, you got better players. When Maddison comes back, when Kulu comes back, when we buy a proper left winger, a better striker, a right winger, a ball playing 8, you're going to see all of these little bits mesh together. All of these little bits, they will mesh together. But this is what I mean. I see the same people in the chat that are constantly finding negatives with Gallagher. Yeah. That are the same ones that tell me they want Bergvall to play. I'm seeing people say, oh my God, signing Gallagher is taking away minutes from Graham Bergvall. Right? So what? Why do you care? Why does anyone care? Ian. Isn't it funny? How many of the fan base want Poch back? Poch couldn't stop waxing lyrical about this bloke. He brought him in and made him his captain. He turned him into Chelsea's best player that season. He turned him into Chelsea's best player for that season. Lynn, again, you're doing the thing, you're not listening. As I said, we've got to build that. That's what we've got to build. Listen to what I'm saying, Lynn. You could, again, this is a really silly comment because you can add this to anybody. You can pluck any player who's really good and say, well, they won't do the same because they haven't got the players around him. Of course, that's going to apply to any player. That's why we've got to build the squad. That's why you've got to build a squad, Lynn. You build those players, you get Gallagher in, then you go and get the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. All of these players grow together. Absolutely, Roy. Absolutely. I'm so glad there are some really sensible comments as well. Competition elevates everyone. Just makes us a better team. Absolutely. Since most players have been entrenched for so long, it's no what? Absolutely. 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 This isn't just about Gallagher, by the way. Any player goes to a club, you've got to build, right? You've got to build. That's like saying Declan Rice wouldn't be as good at Spurs if he hasn't got the players around him. Again, tells. I truly believe you haven't got your timelines right. You do realise that Enzo Fernandez was at Chelsea at the same time as Conor Gallagher, as Conor Gallagher had the best stats for all the midfielders at Chelsea that season. You do realise that, right? Mate, everyone's seeing you being a little bit silly here. The data's out there for you to go and look at, mate. They were in the same 11. I don't know what you're doing here. He's not similar to anything we've got at the moment. No, he's not. Again, this is what I'm saying. Who's he similar to? He's nothing like Bentancur. He's nothing like Bergvall, and he's nothing like Gray. He's nothing like Sarr, and he's nothing like Paulinho. Who's he similar to, Cal? This is one of the worst groups of centre mids I've seen. Who on earth is Conor Gallagher similar to? This is what I mean. There's a lot of people that say these things, but there's no actual facts or evidence behind it. This. Exactly. Sorry, you think Conor Gallagher is similar to Sarr and Bergvall? Wow. Again, tell me you don't know football. Tell me you think Bergvall and Sarr are similar to Conor Gallagher. Mark, absolute levels of footballer. It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. So you know when I said just now, Mark, that some of our fans don't deserve nice things. Fans like Cowspur, as I said. Imagine watching. I've watched Sarr for 4 years. I've watched Bergvall the last 2 years. They are nothing like that. Sam, right, one more, you're gone. Stop. First of all, you don't know it's Paratici, right? Second of all, I'm hearing reports. By the way, we wanted him last year when Paratici wasn't here and Lang was here, right? So I don't know. Was it Lang? Was it Paratici? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Just stop, Sam. You're being a dickhead again. Stop. I unblocked you and you just come back and do the same thing again. Just stop. Please. At what? I'll sit here and wait. What's equality at? And show me some evidence. Honestly, this online fan base, just it's draining. It's draining. It's truly, truly draining. People like Houseburn, they're just trolls. It's ridiculous. Watch Conor Gallagher with his feet compared to Sarr and Bergvall. Watch the assists compared to those two. Watch the goals compared to those two. Watch the crossfield passing compared to those two. Watch everything compared to those two. And then we're saying he's the same as them. Absolutely. Need more signings to go with it. Need more signings. Absolutely. Do you know what I think the key thing here is, mate, is I think when people say, oh my God, Savva's happy with Gallagher, but we need more. Yep. Savva's right there with you. We need more. I have not once said Gallagher should be it. I think this is a real important window. This is a real important window for Spurs to show that they can kick on. Show us that you can kick on. Show us. Kick on. You've got Gallagher. Great. Who's next? Where's the next two? Go and get two more in this window. Go and get me two more players at that level that automatically walk into our first 11 and show us that you're different. Show us that ENIC mean business. Nowhere have I or anyone else said, oh, we've got Gallagher, we don't need anything else. Nowhere. Nowhere. And Ben Salah Youssef, absolutely. Only Spurs fans could not want a player that's captain Chelsea, played for Atletico Madrid in England. Only Spurs fans could be that. Only. No, I can't see the emoji tabs. No. Can't see them, mate. No. No. I'm happy. I'm happy, right? I'm happy with the signing. I want to see more. Hence why I'm going to the protest this weekend. And it would be great to meet any of you that are going. Let me know in the chat if you're going Saturday. It'd be lovely to meet some of you. It's so different YouTube to real life, right? It's so different. So, for example, I don't know if my man's in the chat, right? Andy, who came and done the charity food giveaway and the drink giveaway with me. Met him at the station. Never met him before. What a top guy. We had a great 3-4 hours, whatever it was, going around doing the charity work. Then we had 2 or 3 hours in the pub. It was really good. Really nice to meet people like that. So I'm hoping to meet some more of you on Saturday, before the game or after the game. So if anyone's there, it'll be great. It'll be absolutely great. I'll do the super chats in a minute, by the way. It'll be really great to meet some of you. Savva does Savva does love his vodka. Yes. Beers first, then some vodka. But yeah, listen, I think there's I think there's a lot of content creators going. So it'll be really, I'll see all them again, but it'll be really good to meet some of you as well. Going to get down there for 1-ish, protest between sort of 2, 2:45, then watch the game. Got a ticket going into the game to watch the game, and then the pub afterwards and make an evening of it. So it'd be really good. Be really good to see. Let me do some super chats, shall we? And I want to talk about Akliouche, and I want to talk about Adeyemi. I keep seeing Adeyemi's name, but I haven't really seen any. Hang on, who's it? Hang on, did he mean to call? Mean to call. 1 second. Yeah, do you know what? Paratici just made a great point to me. He said everyone bangs on about Prem proven players needing to sign until it doesn't suit their narrative. Isn't Gallagher the most proven player we're getting? Yeah, mate. Perchie's absolutely spot on, isn't he? We all want Prem proven, and then when we get Prem proven, oh no, he's not the one we want. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, listen, look. Sorry, I'll come to this in a bit later. Yeah, listen, I'll happily meet anybody there. You know, as I said, most people are very, very nice. You get some that threaten, like that. Matt was in here the other day in the Spurs 5 chat, threatening, saying, "Don't bottle it. I'll see you at the like." I ain't got time for that. I'm not a kid. I'm not going to fight people. I mean, what ridiculous. I'm going there, want to talk football, want to meet people. Yada, yada, yada. Leo, I'm starting a channel soon, so have any advice? Yeah. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be dramatic. Don't do it for clickbait. Just be yourself. If you believe something, say it. If you believe an opinion, say it. Don't be peer pressured by others. And routine. Depending on whether you're doing it part-time, full-time, whatever you do, routine is the best way to grow. Routine is the best way to grow. So, you know, if you're somebody who just wants to do videos, do a video every day. I don't know, 3 p.m. is the video time. Every day, make it 3 p.m. so that people get used to when you're going to go live or do your video. Get a good camera. You've got to get a good camera. The difference problem is with a good camera, it brings up all your lines, right? The good camera brings up all your blemishes and stuff. Get a good camera, get a good microphone. These are really important. You can all hear how I sound now, right? You would agree the sound's quite good. If I move away from the mic now, you can tell the sound drops amazingly, and then I come back to here and it's very good again. So again, good camera, good mic, good lighting. Look, you can see here, look, there you go, there's one. Ready? Look, there you go, look, there's 2 big lights. I've got one more behind there. So get your setup right and just be yourself. Just be yourself. But just be patient. Just be patient with it. Yeah, there's so many Spurs channels now. It's becoming very convoluted. And everyone's fighting for the same. You know, I was quite lucky. I was one of the original ones to start, so to speak. But it all depends what you want to do it for. If you just want to get some Spurs content off your chest, just be. Yeah. By the way, it wasn't this, Matt. Yeah, as I said, Matt, I've got zero interest in all that nonsense of "I'll see you there." Mate, I'm in my 40s. I don't care about all that. I'm not, like, you could tell he's a child, right? Oh, I'll see you there then. We'll fight. Oh, shut up. What are we doing here? Grow up. Anyway, so yeah, that would be my advice, Leo. Get yourself a good camera, get yourself a good mic, get yourself good lighting, and the difference that lighting makes. Are you ready? Ready? This is without the lights. Right? So this is me normally in my room. And then that's with the lights, all right? So make sure you get yourself the lights. And I always think, have something clean in the background. Don't be one of those people that's sitting in a bedroom and you can see like wardrobes and clothes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I would say, mate. If you need any help, message me. I'll try and help where I can, but don't expect big numbers to begin with. It takes everybody a long time. I get a lot of people messaging me saying things like, "I gutted your channel isn't growing," and I'm like, well, hang on, I'm nearly at 25k. I mean, I think I've done pretty all right for Spurs. I think I've done okay. But it took years to get there, and it will take many people many years to get to where they want to be. All I would say is this: just don't be a sellout. Don't be a sellout. There's so many content creators where I think if you didn't do this purely for the clicks, you'd be really good at it. But unfortunately, there's so many people you can tell that have purely done it for the clicks. And don't do what I've done. Don't build your show on interacting with the audience, because then you bite back. Yeah, and I know I'm bad at it. But I will look at the good and the bad. You know, so hey, it is what it is. What? Who said you did? What a weird character. I have no idea. So that's my advice for anyone who's starting a channel. Yeah, that's That's my advice. Listen, by the way, let me just set this still correct, right? Every YouTuber does it for the clicks and likes, of course, but there's different ways of growing, right? There's different ways of growing. Now, I could have, when I started this channel, just been a complete yes man, loved every signing, loved every manager, loved everything, positive about absolutely everything, and I probably would have gone, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to do that. I don't like that. I want to have my opinion. Yeah, I want to have my opinion. Yeah, so it is what it is, mate. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's really, really not. Yeah. Do you know what's funny is, again, Lee Gunner is a friend of mine who I speak to away from YouTube. I always say to him, isn't it funny that because I've got my own opinion, I get called Lee? Like, Lee and I are the same age, and I've always had the same opinions. So, hey, it is what it is. Look, let me do some super chats. Savva, what do you think of Marcus Tavernier at Bournemouth? I think he's got a wonderful delivery. I think he's got a wonderful delivery as a footballer, Marcus Tavernier. I don't know. I feel like I'd want a bit more technical, but he's got a wonderful delivery. Look at the crosses he put into our box the other week. Look at the crosses he put in. Let me do some super chats. Billy, I'll see you there then, mate. I'll see you there. I'll see you there. And listen, people like Mark, tell you, Mark's been to my house, for crying out loud. Tell you that we're just normal people with football banter. That's all it is. It's just crazy. When I see all this drama, I see these videos about beef for this person versus this person, I just think, oh God, I've got no time for that. I've got no time for that. What I have seen, though, by the way, I've seen a really good creator called Sarah, who's just started a channel. Don't know if any of you have seen her. If you get out, go over to her channel. She comes across really well. I think Spurs from the Shelf, or Spurs from the Stands. I think her channel is called. Really good. So get over there and have a look at that. Let's have a look. Super chats. Big up to Dan Docker. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Really, really appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much for that. Appreciated. James Watts has said, would you take Sergio Gomez, Real Sociedad? No, for me, I think we can do better than that. Decent. I think we can do better than that. But decent footballer. I suppose it all depends on how we want it to work, where you see him fitting in. But again, I've not seen him linked with us. Big up to DB Forever, always with the super stickers. Thank you very much. Truly appreciate you. Always been very generous to me. Big up to Andy Lester. Member for 7 months, says ex-Chelsea player, a case of tribalism at his worst. Right. Now, this is interesting, Andy, because I've seen loads of people who say they don't want him say Chelsea reject. He wasn't a Chelsea reject in any way, shape or form. At all. He wasn't a Chelsea reject. I don't care that he's played for Chelsea. I just don't care that he's played for Chelsea, right? I don't. Sorry. I know there will be people that do. We had Gus Poyet. He played for Chelsea. William Gallas. He played for Chelsea. I mean, we could do this all day long, right? With loads. I don't care about that, my man. I care about good footballers coming in. Yeah, I know. Chelsea reject, but he was the captain. I know, it's madness. You know, I think it's crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Big up to you, Andy. Hope you're well, my man. You're coming again. Very generous. It's amazing how directness is counted as rudeness. Yeah, look, listen, I'm normally rude to the people that are very rude to me in the chat. Other than that, I'll have a football conversation. I'll be direct and blunt. It is what it is. Big up to you, Andy. Much appreciated, brother. You're very generous to me. Big up to Steve Dyer, DJ. He said, this is a great signing. Massive upgrade. Absolutely, my man. Massive upgrade on what we got. Honestly, if anyone is watching Bentancur, Bergvall, Sarr and Gray and not thinking we need upgrades, it's truly crazy for me. Big up to you. Big up to Dean. Another super sticker. Always generous. Thank you, Dean. Really appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. And then Fifth Elemento. Thank you very much. Very generous. It's Savva with this signing, which I believe is a great signing. Do you believe the board is backing up Frank, or is that we are preparing for Poch's return. Yeah, look, let's talk about this. Thank you very much for the super chat. Let's talk about this. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Look, the obvious link is there, right? Poch made him his captain. Poch has waxed lyrical about this player. He loved Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher has said how much he loved Poch and that they work brilliantly together. People saying that Frank's going to go, that Poch is coming back. So when you put the 2 and 2 together, it's very easy to get 4, or are we getting 8, right? It's I get it. I get what I get where the kind of comparisons come from. Look, if Poch does come back at some stage, don't be surprised if he makes Conor Gallagher his captain. Don't be surprised in any way, shape, or form if he comes straight in and makes Gallagher his captain. Gallagher is a true leader of men. We don't have them. Our own captain isn't a leader of men. Conor Gallagher is. So, again, if we're looking at people for... by the way, isn't it funny that Xabi Alonso gets sacked and all of these fans that were about Iriola or Xavi Hernandez or Glasner have now gone to Xabi Alonso? I find it so funny. I honestly find it funny. So, look, I think that Pochettino, I don't know if he's going to come back. You hear reports that he is and reports that he isn't. I don't know if he does. He comes back. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Sean, I think, has got it absolutely spot on with what he said. He said more than anything, he needs to come back so that people can scratch their itch. I don't disagree with him on that front. Does it work if he comes back? Again, what does work mean? Like when people say he's not the right man for what? Will it work? What work? What will he achieve? What does that mean at Spurs? So, look, there's so many different things at Elemento that I just don't know. Listen, it's the same as anything. What will be. If a new manager comes in, that new manager, players might want to leave, other players might want to step up. But I believe that whoever comes in will be looking at somebody like a Gallagher as a captain figure. And that is why I'm really glad that he's signing. Sammy Mehmet, big up to you, Sammy, said, yeah, Harry Wilson is a yeah, I've always liked Harry Wilson. Really good Premier League player. Like, just gets his job done. No fuss, no noise, no sexy foreign name. Just gets it done. You know what you're going to get. His teammates love him. You can see the work rate. No problem with a player like that being as part of your squad. So we'll see. By the way, the other part of that question, Elemento, about backing Frank. Look, it's difficult, right? Because on its own, Conor Gallagher, no. On its own, you can't say, oh my God, we've backed him. If they go out and buy another 2 senior pros that walk into the 11 this window, you go, okay, all right. You know, if Spurs went and bought, just for example, Akliouche and Alex Garcia, brilliant ball-playing midfielder, by the way, from Leverkusen. If anyone hasn't seen him, go and watch him. Brilliant ball-playing midfielder, Garcia, right? And I'll bring up his data in a minute. If Spurs went and got that, and you've now got Garcia, Gallagher, and Paulinho as your midfield, you've got Akliouche, you've got Xavi Simons, you know, you're starting to go, okay, Frank, right, you've got to show something here. You've now got him more players. 3 new players are coming to your first team that were better than what you've got. Now we need to evolve and see. Then you would say they're backing him. But whoever the manager is for me, Fifth Elemento sent this, didn't he? Whoever the manager is, in whichever year we're in, it needs to be a constant backing, doesn't it? So it needs to be, right, we're doing it in January, then in the summer, then in January, then in the summer. Can't be a couple of windows of buying established pros and then we don't need to do it again, right? You know, one of the best managers in world football. I'm not sure about that. Listen, I like Xavi Alonso as much as the next person, but one of the best managers in world football. I'm not. Again, that's a little bit knee jerk of a reaction for me. So we'll see. No, again, listen, first and foremost, I've not said that in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is every month there's a new flavor of the month who people want to manage Spurs, and their styles vary massively, which tells me that fans just flip flop from one to the other. Flip flop from one to the other. Like Xabi Alonso is very different to Xavi Hernandez, for example. Glasner is very different to Iriola, but you hear these names and in September, it was this guy. In October, this guy. November, this guy. December, this guy. January's now Xavi Alonso. I can't see. Yeah, this boy can play. This boy can play. This boy, yeah. This boy can play. I would, yeah. See, for me, if again we've seen faint rumors about Alex Garcia. I don't really know that they're very reputable sources, but Alex Garcia is the sort of midfielder I do think that Tottenham need. I do think that he is the sort of player that Tottenham need. Now, if we look at, I'll bring up his details, by the way. Let's bring up his 24-25 and his 25-26. They're basically identical. They're basically identical, which tells you he is a consistent footballer. So this is Garcia. Anyone who's not seen him, again, go and do the research. Really good ball playing number 8. Very, very, very good passer of a football. Now, if somebody like Garcia came in this window, I'd like to see until Maddison. And if we don't buy a left winger, and until Maddison and Kulu come back, I'd like to see Garcia alongside a Paulinho, the DM, the ball player. Let Gallagher go and roam with Xavi Simons and an Akliouche, for example, as your wide men, but that drift in and connect and link up. And I think we'd look so much better. I think we'd all feel so much better. Now, let's bring that up and show you. Let's move that comment. Where are we? So look, this is, oh no, not there. There you go. So this is, the blue is last year, the pink is this year. You can see it's almost identical. Look at him as a play. It's almost identical. Look at his passing. Look at this passing. Now, this is not a guy that wins the possession, right? This is, you can see that. That would be what someone like a Gallagher or a Paulinho does. Now imagine this guy next to them. Right? This guy next to them. This is what I'm talking about. Now, if you get that, you've got your out-and-out DM in Paulinho. You've got a box-to-box in Gallagher. You've got your ball-playing midfielder in Garcia. Now, you've got players for every tactic and every eventuality. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But let me know in the chat, have any of you seen Garcia? Mate, yes, we do. Yes, we do. This is the problem. We keep saying it's one v the other. Spurs need to buy properly and buy big. We need both. Yes, we need a ball-playing midfielder. We needed a box-to-box. We need a left winger. We need a right winger. Yes, we need a lot. Yeah, really good player at Girona as well. He's a very good footballer. And this is what I said. There are those that are natural passers. There are those that are natural passers, that is their game. There are those that can pass, and there are those that do pass. And you can see from this guy is a ball-playing midfielder. Everything there. Look at the dots where they are for forward passes, forward pass percentage, key passes, and progressive passes. Like, his forward passing is basically at 100%. His forward passing is at 99.4%. Wow. Now, I don't know if we can get him. I don't know if we're in for him. But again, a technical footballer. Now, this isn't the guy that's going to win you the possession. We need to be very clear on that. The very different footballers. This is why when fans say, oh, but he can't do that. Sure, but this is why you have different people. You have different profiles for different jobs in your team. Now, there might be games where you don't need a player like this. But there are definitely going to be games where you need a player like this. Sits in that number 8, given the ball. He's always available, picks the pass. He's read the pitch. He's scanned the pitch. He knows what's going to happen before anyone else. Similar. I think he's a bit quicker and a bit sharper with his passing, Garcia, for me. But similar profiles, yeah. Really good player. Very different footballers. Again, very different footballers, my man. Very different footballers. Yeah, Stiller. Another really good player. Let's chuck him in. Stiller. Oh, probably up if I spelled Stiller wrong. Again, so you can see Stiller in the green. Look, he's exactly the same. Look, these are identical players, aren't they? Look at them. They're identical players with what they do. This is Data MB, Lee. Data MB for Mike Bravo. Mike Bravo. Yeah. And look at them. We need one like this. Just because I like Conor Gallagher doesn't mean I don't think we need one like this. This will absolutely complement. Now, let's chuck in. Here we go. Sean always does this, and he's always right. Now, if you chuck in Paulinho fills up the other 2 boxes, doesn't he? Look, there you go. So there you go. Now you filled up the entire circle or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. Right, you filled up the whole thing. Because now you've got duels and possession 1. Look, massively by Paulinho. And now you've got all the forward passing from Garcia. And then you've got the box-to-box of Gallagher. And again, this is why I think when we as fans go, we don't need him, we need this. I think we need so much. But Angelo Stiller, really good player. Unfortunately, I can't put Ruben Neves in there. I don't think I can get Brahim Diaz. I don't think they have him down as a midfielder, do they, in there? But again, it goes to show that when you get an out-and-out passer of the football, and it really does change the way you play. So, look, I don't know. Look, we'll buy who we buy at the end of the day. As fans, we can only sit here and hope. We can only sit here and hope we do more. We can only sit here and hope that we do more, right? I don't know whether or not Tottenham are going to be really active in the market. I would like to think we are. I would like to think that there's a lot of money, right? But I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know if we're going to. This is what I've said. This is make or break for ENIC for me. This is make or break. Show us what you are. Show us your ambitions. And show us that you want to really kick on. At the moment, I believe that we have spent something like, with the revenue coming in for, who's the revenue coming in for? With the revenue coming in for Valise and Brennan Johnson, and the money going out for Conor Gallagher and for and Souza, I believe one second. Who's this? I believe that we've literally spent about 3.4 million this window. Now, that is fine. That is absolutely fine. Or is it? As a Spurs fan, let me ask you all this question. How will you feel as a Spurs fan? How will you feel if we were even at the end of this window and that the amount we spent was the exact same we bought in? What would that say about the war chest? The 150 million that's apparently been made available. Balancing the books is great, right? But will Spurs fans want that? Or will we say, hang on, come on, push the boat out a little bit? That's what I've got a feeling there will be a couple more signings. I've got a feeling there will be, and they seem to be coming out of nowhere, don't they? They seem to be coming out of nowhere. Yuvik Mawani just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Xavi Simons was wrapped up very quickly out of nowhere. The news about Morgan Gibbs-White, the news about Gallagher. So we talk about all these players, right? We talk about all these players and all these reports and all these links. And then something happens that we weren't expecting. Now, I'm hoping that we're working on some other things right now. I'd love to see an Akliouche sign. Right? I'd love to see a Garcia sign or a Ruben Neves sign. I don't think Stiller is obtainable. I watched him last night again for Stuttgart. Quality player. Some sort of we haven't got. People say, which position do you think we need the most? I think this is always a really difficult question because I think we need so much. I'm not sold on the goalkeeper at all. Never have been. I'm not sold on the strikers. I'm not sold that we've got a good left winger. Right now, we've got no right winger with Kudus injured. I think we need a ball playing number 8. I think we need a senior left back. I don't know. I think that if Dragusin goes, we need another left-sided centre half. So there's a lot. There's a lot that we need, and I don't think it's as simple as saying what do we need the most. I think we need so much. Yeah, I agree. I don't see Stiller. You know, I agree with you. I feel like with the Diamonde thing, I think it's a type of signing that clubs aren't going to want to lose those players in January. It's difficult, right? When you've got players like Brennan Johnson moves to Palace, he's not getting a lot of games for Spurs. It's a nice deal to do. Conor Gallagher wants to play week in, week out. It's a nice deal for somebody to go and do from Atletico. Yada, yada, yada. Donny Marlon isn't playing enough game time at Villa, so Roma have come in. It's a nice deal to do. When it's someone who's playing week in, week out 90 minutes and is fundamental and pivotal to what that team is trying to achieve, it's a lot more difficult. That might answer it. Okay, so Steve Combo says Stiller has an active release clause this summer, 40 million euros. But Stuttgart can buy out the clause for 2 million euros that goes to Stiller. Well, look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? There are, again, yeah, look, for me, Bill, I think there's a lot that needs to be done. This is why I don't understand when people lose their minds over one signing. We need so much. You know, we are. Yeah, I think they do. I hope, Mike. I'm fully aware. I'm saying that with no evidence. I am saying that with hope more than anything. It would be very disappointing if we get to the end of the window and we've only made one first-team signing, because I don't think Souza will come straight in. I think the Brazilian league finished 5 weeks ago, if I'm not wrong, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And again, coming over, a young player, different country. I'll be interested to see what they do. I'll be interested to see. And that's why, what is there? 17 days left of the window, is it? 17 days left of the window, I think. Show us. I say this every show, right? Show us. Show us what you mean. Show us what's different between you guys and the old ways under Levy. Show us if there is a difference, and show us that we are pushing and doing whatever we can. Show us. We need wingers right now. I think we are desperately weak on the left and the right. Obviously, Kudus getting injured really doesn't help, but I think we're crying out for wingers. I think we're crying out for a ball playing number 8. I don't think that a strike, I could be wrong. I don't think that a striker will be of priority in this window. I think that might be more the next window when Mawani goes back and Richarlison is sold. I don't see Solanke going. We'll see, right? We'll see. We'll see what they want to do. Listen, I might be wrong. Maybe with Spurs, you never know. With Spurs, you never know. But I'd love to see us go out in this window, get a ball playing 8, go and get a left winger. You know, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Go into the games in February and go, all right, there we go. We've just added Conor Gallagher. We've added a good left winger. We've added a ball playing midfielder. You know, Dominic Solanke's back fit. Paulinho's your DM. Xavi Simons is getting up to speed now. All right, what can we do for the second half of the season? What can we do for the second half of the season? I know we're slightly into the second half of the season. What I want to see, and I had this conversation with Lubo yesterday, and when you remove the whole manager in, manager out stuff, what I want to see as a fan, more than whoever that man's name is above the door, I want to see that we've made some good signings in January. We backed that up with 3 or 4 more good signings in the summer, and that we start next season with a healthy squad. People are fit. We've added new players, and you go, right, let's go. Let's attack the season. Whereas this season, I thought we started the season not prepared, not ready, too many injuries, too many players signed late. That's my hope. That's my hope for moving forward. That bit of ice is still going, by the way. Look at it. What a solid bit of ice that is. And if I see that as a Spurs fan, if I see that we have gone this window 3 first-team players, another 3 or 4 in the summer, depending on who leaves, and I'm seeing the likes of Valise going out the door, Johnson going out the door. In the summer, we see, I don't know, a Basuma, a Bentancur, a Sarr, a Ben Davies. If I see that, then I don't care who the manager is. Because as a club, I see a clear pathway moving forward. So far, I've not seen it. Definitely not a cider and black, Mark. Definitely not a cider and black. Way too early for that. I don't really drink cider and black that much, but I should. It's a good drink. I used to love the old snake bite. Who used to, anyone in the chat, put your hands up. Anyone used to drink snake bites? Anyone remember them? I used to love a snake bite at the venue in Old Kent Road, if anyone remembers the venue, New Cross, sorry. So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. We can talk about directors of football. We can talk about managers. That's what I want to see in terms of players coming in, players going out, and we go, yeah, okay, now we're building a squad. And if I see that, now I want to put loads more pressure on a manager. Loads, whoever it is, Poch, Frank, whoever it is. Right, come on. Come on. Let's see it. Let's see it. As I said, if you bring in 3 first-team players this window, I'll just use it for example. You bring in Akliouche, you bring in Alex Garcia, you bring in Conor Gallagher. You've got Solanke back, Paulinho's in there now. You turn around to Frank and go, right, let's have a better second half of the season. Let's see you build. Let's see you grow going into the summer, into next year. Because now you've been backed. You've got players. They're starting to back you. They're starting to give you senior pros. There's no excuse. And that doesn't matter if it's Frank, whoever it is. Right? Whoever it is. That's where I'm at with it. And I know there's those that choose not to listen, which is fine. There are those that choose not to listen, and they can just say one thing, like, you know, our mate Marios, he's only got the ability to just say Frank out on whichever manager he fancies that week. That's fine. But for me, it's not really football conversation, is it? It's not really in-depth analysis of what the football club need to do. And that's what I want to do. I think the whole thing would be very boring if our whole conversation was just Frank out, Frank out. Sure, but there's a lot more to it, right? There's a lot more going on at the football club that we can talk about. Have the conversation all you want with a manager out, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And in the chat right now, let me know, who thinks ENIC are going to buy 1 or 2 more players? Let me know. 1 or 2? 1? I'm not counting Souza. We know that's done. What do we think? Not yet. I believe he completed his medical, didn't he, at lunchtime? So I guess at the moment they're doing the whole fancy marketing video and all that kind of stuff. And I guess we'll get it at 5-ish, 6-ish. I don't know. You know what they like. See, guys, can I tell you, you know, sometimes things run like clockwork. As I said, as I said, like, you can't, again, incapable of any other conversation other than the manager, like incapable of anything, incapable of any other conversation. Marios, we all know you don't want Frank. It's been done to death. What do you make of Gallagher? What do you think we need to buy in this window to help the team moving forward? What do you want to see? Who should be sold? Let's see if we can get some actual conversation out of you other than Frank out. We get it. You don't like Frank. You don't have to remind us. It's brilliant. We get it. Frank out. Frank out. We get it. So give us some answers. Who do you want to see signed? Let's all see. No, okay, we get it. That's fine. But now move the conversation forward. Move it away from the manager. Who do you want to see signed and who do you want to see leave? Who do you want to see signed? That's all I'm asking. Who do you want to see signed? Realistic, by the way. Not silly. Realistically, by the way, these are the best biscuits in the world, by the way. Has anyone had these? Choco Lebanese. Dark. Right. So, this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. I want to see, as I said, the manager backed. And then, if things aren't going in the right direction by the end of the season, I'll turn around and go, no, sorry, mate. Look, you've had players. Right now, I'm not there because I don't believe he has. I don't think he's ever seen his best 11. But you back him, and then you go, come on, mate. We need to see those green shoots going into next season. I'm okay with having a bad year. I'm okay with having an average year if we're building. If we're building, I'm cool with that. Because I was one person in the summer who acknowledged this would be a very difficult year. But that doesn't last forever. Doesn't last forever. So who are the club going to bring in to back Thomas Frank? Now, whether you like Frank or not, he is the manager. Marios, sure. But if we win at the weekend, we're 10th. So it's like, the league table right now, 6 points separates Champions League and 14th. Like, again, just a little bit of common sense. Just a little bit of common sense needs to really be applied to your thinking. Yeah? If it was after 38 games that we finished 14th, I've got issues. But it isn't. There's a lot of football to play. So let's see. As I said, people like Frank, people hate him. We all agree. I think we all agree that we need players. Doesn't matter who the manager is. I think we all agreed, right? We all agreed that we need players, whoever that manager is. Again, people talk about Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is going to come in, look at this squad and be like, yeah, I need a ball-playing midfielder. I need a left winger. I need this. I need that. I need a proper wing-back. I need this. Whoever it is. And that's why the bigger picture for me is what are we doing up there? And then the low-hanging fruit we can deal with later. The low-hanging fruit's not going to matter now. We're not going to go down, right? I don't think we're going to get Champions League football unless we have a great end to the season. But we'll see. We'll see, right? But look, football's a funny game, isn't it? We all know football's a funny old game. Spurs could win. The next two, suddenly you're sitting in the top 6, 7. Which is where many thought we'd be. You lose the next two, you're rooted in the bottom half of the table. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. And this is what makes me laugh is when these people go 14th, right? Yeah, we're 14th right now. Same way people are going Brentford a 5th. Yeah, but if Brentford lose this weekend, they could end the weekend in 10th, right? Or 11th. So you've got to, it all moves so much. That's why a little bit of calm can sometimes go a very, very long way. Sometimes a bit of calm. Also, don't really want to be sacking managers during a transfer window. Don't think it sends off the right message. I don't think it's a good look for any players that want to come in. So at the moment, let's see. We should be, as a fan base, surely more invested in this next 16, 17 days in, right, what are we doing? ENIC, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Someone like Solis, I don't mind Solis. I think he's a very good footballer, Solis. I agree. I agree. I think, as I said, you give him Gallagher, you give him Garcia, give him Akliouche. It all looks very different. It all looks very different. And this is the problem. There are fans like Marius that don't quite get that into their brains. It will all look very different when you've got, first of all, your best players back and when you add better players to the squad. Dude, none of none of us make that decision. None of us make that decision. It's not about whether you think he should get sacked or not, or me. None of us make that decision. The board will make that decision. The board will make that decision. But the board have also got to back him because they've got, this is their man. And so far, they've not backed him. This is their man. They've got to show, hang on, we brought this guy in. We've got to stand by our guy and back him. If they do that and it's bad, he's going to get the sack. Maris, sorry, Matt, I can't do this. You really don't get it, right? Better players will naturally have you playing better. Look how many goals he scored at Brentford. His teams. Look how many goals. Agreed, Kudos. Agreed. Agreed. I hope you're well, my man. Not seen you for ages, if this is who I think it is. Agreed. Better players will bring better performances, will bring better results, will allow you to attack better, right? Because when you're going forward with the Tells, with the Odebergs, with the Richarlisons, they have moments. There's not enough there sustained. So, again, they've got to, they brought him in. He's their manager. People go, oh, your manager. They brought him in. They said, this is our manager. Right? Cool. Back him then. Back him or sack him. If you sack him, are you backing the next guy? If you keep him, if they keep him, got to back him. It's that simple. And again, it shouldn't go down to who I want as manager or you want. This is the basics of running a football club. If you bring in a manager, you have said, this is our guy, and they did because they paid 10 million to get him out of Brentford. This is our guy. Then back him. Let him back himself into the corner and say, not good enough. Whatever we think, whether we think the players were good enough, somebody like Angepostecoglou had nearly 400 million pounds over 2 years and 4 windows. Can't give a manager one window and say, oh no, it didn't work. So again, it's not about dying on a hill for a manager. It's about, this is their guy. This is their guy. This is their guy. Back him. If they believe this is the guy, if they then pull away 6 months later, it makes them look completely incompetent. Why would there be no money for players? Why would there be no money for players if we don't get Europe? How much money do you think you get for qualifying for the Europa League? Again, you're not engaging your brain. There will be money for the players. We have very rich owners. We have very rich owners. Again, people, you've got to engage before you type because you're saying things that don't make sense. Yes, we won't have Champions League revenue, but there's been many years when we've not had Champions League revenue. Well, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, Savio's out injured for 2 months and Doku, what? Jeremy Doku. Yeah, he's going to come to Spurs. He's going to come to Spurs. So again, look, as I said before, let's see this season out. Let's back the manager this window. Let's back the manager this window to the point where you go, God, 3 really good players there, mate. Things have got to improve. And if nothing improves between now and the end of the season, you could turn around and go, yeah, look, come on, we've not seen anything. But if you don't, what's the point of sacking him now? Realistically, what's the point of sacking him now? Who are you getting in that wants to come? How do you know that Xabi Alonso, for example, would want to come? If you're Xabi Alonso, aren't you waiting until the summer to see what jobs come up? Loads of jobs will come up, right? Between now and the end of the season. I think sometimes it's just a little bit of calm. Honestly, my mum always used to say to me, a little bit of calm goes a very long way. A little bit of calm. When we say waste the season, in terms of what? Waste it how? People are talking like we're serial winners every year. What do you mean waste the season? Eric, that's exactly what I do. Get 2 more in this window, then you go big in the summer. And it's amazing. In 1 year, it can all change. Don't get me wrong. You've got to implement. It takes time on the pitch. But again, unfortunately, we've got too many kids as fans that think that you can just click your fingers and a club that's been in disarray for years changes overnight. Good players will help. But the bigger picture of building a structure takes time. Yeah, it takes time. It really does. And sometimes it is what it is. I mean, let's be fair. If we finish 8th or 10th this season, right, neither of those positions get you into Europe. So basically what you're saying is if we go outside the top 7, right, is what you're saying. If we don't get Europe. Look, I think that everyone wants to win trophies every year. But we've got fans who must be 17, 18 that have seen 1 trophy in their lifetime, right? Now demanding that every year we win a trophy. Now, that's great. That's great for ambition and that's brilliant, but it's not real, is it? It's not real. You think this year it is not possible for Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, right, to all win a trophy. It's not possible that all 4 of them can win a trophy. Is it? It's not possible. They can't all 4 win a trophy. Does that mean they just have to sack the manager? Like, does that mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, well, Mark, exactly, right? I'm 43. And what have I seen in my lifetime? The 2 at the back end of the 80s. I saw the 91 FA Cup final, the 99 League Cup final, the 08 League Cup final, and the 2025 Europa League final. But you've now got these younger fans who are just going, we've wasted the season. We've not won a trophy. It's like, well, then does that mean every season in Spurs' history where we've not won a trophy was wasted? They don't understand that you're building. Not everything's a waste. Building. People don't understand. Again, as I said, the kids can't understand. Well, only if at the age of 1, they saw Spurs lifting a trophy. At the age of 1, I'm not sure they did, Ellie. At the age of 1, they weren't remembering Spurs, were they? Let's be honest. So we got knocked out to Newcastle. Bloody good football team. Again, look, bigger picture. These kids don't get the bigger picture. You've got to build. You have got to build. Whether that is Frank or not, I'm not talking about that. You've got to build. Yeah, the Audi Cup. Got to build. Whether or not you're winning a trophy in this year, this is the year. Again, look, Brennan Johnson, gone. Valise, gone. Right? Now in the summer, we need to see Richarlison, gone. Ben Davis, gone. Bentancur Basuma, gone. Building. Players out, players in, building. growing, building, growing. It can't just be about trophies every year if you're not that club. Of course, we rotated the team. Again, dude, listen, I don't get how immature you are. Of course, we rotate the team. We don't have a good enough squad, right? Mate, you cannot play your best 11, even if we have one, every Wednesday, Saturday. How how am I giving this kid so much time? He doesn't get it, does he? Man City can rotate, right? Because they've got really good players. When we rotate, you start to see the level of player. Yeah, he's come on a show, but he just waffles. Like, it's just so silly. It's so silly. I just want to see, as I said a million times in the summer, going to be a tough year. Guys and girls, who's going to back me up that I said this in the summer? I'm strapped in with my big boy pants that this is going to be a tough year of ups and downs. I was strapped in for this. I was ready for this season of ups and downs. That's why I'm not losing my mind. I strapped my big boy pants on. I did up my seatbelt and went, this is going to be a tough year. Build. Unfortunately, there's too many that go, do it now. Do it now. This is a team that finished 17th, and we're now all going immediately, must finish in the top 6. Whoa, hang on. 17th. So immediately we've got to finish 11 places higher in the table. Now, I'd love that, but it's not a given. It's not a given, right? How many clubs go from there to there in one year? You got to build. You've got to build the squad. You've got to build the team. Got to build the team. Last week you were literally saying he's going to get the sack. If you actually listen to what I said, Bamboozle, again, see, when the trolls come in, if you actually listen to what I said he can't just keep going without getting the results. He will get himself the sack. What I'm saying is I would like the board to give him some players to rectify that, to give him the best possible opportunity so that we say, yeah, you were backed and you failed, then you've been sacked. It's not rocket science, is it? It's not, dude, it's really not rocket science, what I said. No manager is going to survive just losing after losing after losing after losing. Right? By the way, I don't think we're going to lose the next two. If we do, he's going to find it very hard. I get that. If he loses the next two, he's going to find it very hard to keep his job. I agree with what a lot of people are saying. But I'm not the board. I don't know if he's going to be sacked. Maybe they've strapped on their big boy and big girl pants as well. Said, we'll take the rough with the smooth this year. Maybe they're doing what Arsenal did in that first couple of years under Arteta. All right, we'll strap on our big boy and big girl pants. I don't know. If they sack him, they sack him. We go again. I don't know this big. It's this big drama as though losing football managers is like has never happened before. Look, we are a club that have never challenged at the top consistently. A couple of years where people talk about title challenge. I don't think it was really a title challenge in the Poch eras, if I'm honest. I think we were there or thereabouts. Now, not need thicker skin, mate. I just call out liars like you. It's not about thicker skin, see? People say that to make themselves feel better. You misrepresent what I actually said. I said he's going to find it hard to keep his job. Any manager's going to find it hard to keep their job if they don't win games of football. That's not the same as me saying I think it's pointless sacking him, though. I think there's a huge difference. Listen to what's being said. Problem is, mate, people like you say people like me need thicker skin. Why are idiots like you, though? Your only purpose on going on shows like this is to try and wind people up. Your only purpose is to dig at people. I've never seen you join in with the other people for a football chat. I've never seen you join in with a football chat. You're a point scorer. It's childish. Let me guess. I bet you're 19. I bet if you're over the age of 21, I'll be absolutely staggered with how childish you are. Let's see how old you are in the chat. Right? I have seen so many. Look how, all right. However many of you in the chat, how many of you have seen managers come and managers go? Again, see, all you do is point score. Try joining in some football. It's all you do. Notice you do not have the intelligence or the emotional intelligence to have a football conversation. Every single point is trying to point score. You know why people like you get to point score, right? You get to point score because you've got no real name and no picture. So you get to act like a twat. Unfortunately, that's what happens. You get to act like a twat because you've got no name, no picture, no accountability that anyone can actually see who you are. So what you do is you go on to shows and you point score and you take things that have been said and you take them out of context. I can't help you with that, my man. I can't help you with that. If you were a bit maturer, we could have a conversation, but you can't. You watch your next comment to me. It will be nothing about football. It will just be a stupid dig again. See people like you all the time, right? All the time. Look how many of these, so many good people want to have a football conversation, right? How many of these people have a proper conversation? Add value to the comments. Again, this is another idiot. No, this wasn't about him agreeing with me. Again, Sam, you're now being an idiot. I called him a troll because he lied about me, not because of an opinion. He lied. Yes, ridiculously, Marius. Yes. You're another one. You're incapable of having football conversation. Everything that comes out your mouth is one thing. It's the same thing every show. Even if we announce a signing, Frank out. It's like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. Right? See, again, look, I told you, look, he can't. Come on, everyone's waiting, Bamboozle. Let's have a football conversation. Ask me a football question. There we go. Here we go. But Bamboozle, ask me a football conversation. Ask me a football question. We'll have a football conversation. I see you. You go into people's chats. You point score. You try and have a dig, and you can't. Otherwise, why have you called yourself Bamboozle with no picture? Right? Why? Because you know you're a troll. So let's see. Come on then. Ask me a football question. Exactly. Paul, exactly. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. It's interesting, right? We are in a place where everything is point scoring. Everything is point scoring. And what does it really mean? If Thomas Frank doesn't work out as manager, oh no, Thomas Frank doesn't work out as manager. How does that change my life? Well, it doesn't really, does it? Still got bills to pay. Still got work to do. Still got dogs to walk. Still got a YouTube channel to run. Doesn't really matter. If Thomas Frank gets sacked, he gets sacked. You know what? Let's start the manager process again, and we go again until that manager has a really bad run of results, and we start doing this all over again. Oh, he's not the right guy. He's not the right guy. So, Pete, you click onto your profile and add an image. And you add an image. Add an image. I can't say more than that, my man. So look, we're gonna see, right? We're gonna see. I'm bored of as I said, I'm bored of the point scoring. All these people who make videos about each other with their beat. I couldn't give a shit about all that. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. I didn't start a YouTube channel so that we could have videos calling out other YouTubers and fights and battles and thumbnails with other YouTubers' pics. Like, what's all that about? Just do your own content. Say what you want to say about football. The point scoring. Do you know the best thing about point scoring? Is everyone talks as though they're right. Everyone talks as though they're right 100% of the time. We've all been right on players. We've all been wrong on players. We've all been right on managers. We've all been wrong on managers. We've all been right on directors of football. We've all been wrong about it. The difference is people like me with my face and my real name on the show. I say it so that trolls can then use that and go, you said this. And you're like, well, hang on. What did I actually say? It's like when people say, I love this one. They say to people like me, you hounded out Ange. I mean, first of all, grow the F up. I hounded out Ange. Now, so it was nothing to do with the fact that he lost every week. It was nothing to do with the fact that the board said he didn't get enough points. It was me who hounded him out. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. The board of football clubs will sack the manager when they want to sack the manager. We are just fans who have an opinion, right? And this whole thing, look at all these thumbnails. So-and-so in the mud. Why so-and-so in the mud? Because they made a football prediction and didn't come right. So-and-so in the mud. See, again, people like Marios, they take part of what's been said in the conversation. Marios, I also said that I want to see Thomas. I didn't say Frank works with a cheap team. I said has worked with a cheap team. Right? Again, Marios, you can work with a cheap team if you're all on the same page. Now, what they had at Brentford was an excellent scouting team that were on the same page as Thomas Frank and his coaches. So it didn't matter the value of the players. They were bringing people into a well-structured team. It's not just about the value of the player. It's not just the value. And again, you know, when you asked that question just now and you said, am I childish? Yes, because you don't get it. Teams like Brentford, teams like Bournemouth, teams like Brighton, they have very good football models, very good scouting. Everyone is aligned and on the same page. They can bring in players for 15 million, but they've scouted them properly. They fit the ethos. They fit the structure. You can't just go and buy any old 12 million pound player and go on, Thomas Frank, work with that. That's not how it works. Hence why I've said I would like to see him, right? I would like to see him build his own team. And then we go, right, okay. Okay. He's bought these players in over a number of years. This is his squad. What have you built? Let's see. Let's see it. I can't judge before I've seen it. Again, look, you said that Frank bought that. Listen to what I said. Oh my God, I can't do it with this troll. He's an idiot, isn't he? I can't do it. There you go. There you go. So the trolls, go on. Let's see. Let's see Bamboozle put his picture up. Let's see a picture of Bamboozle. They won't do it, will they? People who say dumb shit don't want their photo or name associated with the dumb shit. Yeah, mate, listen. Look, but I will always call out when people are I will always call out when people lie about me. The problem is people they'll go, oh, on the 22nd of March, 2023, you said this. And you're like, okay, cool. But in what context? Under which manager? Under which owners? Under which director of football? What was the state of the club at the time? And then they'll go 3 years later. Remember when you said that? You're like, yeah, but what? What are we talking about? If anyone actually listened, and this is why people like Marios have gone right off. Always was in the show before, but now lies. Like, in what context was I saying Frank has worked with cheap squads? In what context did I say that? In what context does that relate to me saying Spurs shouldn't give Frank any money because he works with cheaper squad? Like, in what, did I ever say that? No. In what context? It's really, really important to add context to what's been said. As I've said before, let me make this very clear. Thomas Frank gets sacked. I don't lose an ounce. I don't lose a wink of sleep. I will go to sleep just fine. Do I think he should be sacked? No. Will he get sacked? Everyone gets sacked. Will it be soon? If results don't change, sure. But that doesn't mean I'm sitting there going, sack him. But I see people that were very much Frank in. They've already gone, oh, I was wrong about him. I'm not going to say I'm wrong about him until I see what I wanted. I wanted him to be backed over a number of windows with good signings and let him build a team, let him build a squad. I can't say after 6 months, oh, he hasn't been able to build it when he hasn't had his players fit or signings come in. So that's what I've said. When these people lie about what I've said, you know, my quote was in what context? In what context was it, Bamboozle? In what context was it? In what context? I said Thomas Frank, built that club, right? And what I mean by that is Thomas Frank took them from bottom half of the championship to top half of the Premier League, right? He worked day in, day out with the scouts, with the coaches, with the owners. He built that football club and left it in a wonderful place. Sam boy, look, mate, you're now going to get blocks just because you again, when you just say childish things, mate, I'm 43 years of age. I don't do this childish shit that you do. It's not about being triggered. I put twats like you in your place. Twats like you and twats like Bamboozle in your place. Again, no names, no pictures. Right? It's always funny. No names, no pictures. Right? He didn't join a top 16, did he? He joined a team that finished 17th. Next. Next. I love this. I love that. These people they just say such stupid things. Look, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. When he gets sacked, he gets sacked. We go again. Let's see if people will be happy with the next manager. And for me, the bigger picture to who the manager is, can't say this. Can't say this anymore. I've said this year after year after year after year after year. Bigger picture. What are the owners doing? What are the players we're buying? For me, that takes away. Why did Chelsea get away with what they do? Because they buy quality players year in, year out. They buy quality players more often than not. That's why they get away with it. Mario, you didn't say this all of last year, mate. All of last year, you didn't say this. No. Sorry. Why should focusing on the Europa League mean we finish fourth from bottom? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Brentford fans are saying Frank held them back now. What? Because they're fifth for 1 week in the table? It's ridiculous. Frank held them back from bottom half of the championship to top half in the Premier League, not once in a relegation battle, not once in the bottom three, with the second lowest budget on salaries. Have a day off. Have a day off. It's so disingenuous. It's so disingenuous. I love it. All the people that wanted Ange out last year that have suddenly changed their tune to, yeah, but he concentrated on the Europa. Hang on, you weren't saying that last year when you all wanted him out. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. I don't care about Ange. I don't care about Frank. But can we just for once just take our time over something? Absolutely, Alan. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all I've asked for. But again, unfortunately, the idiots like Marios, like Bamboozle, can't listen to what I'm actually saying. I don't care. If Thomas Frank goes, I don't care. Bring in the next manager. We'll go again. Good question, Boris. But on that note, I am going to leave it there. Let's see what happens. If he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. I'm more bothered about what are the board going to do. What are the board going to do? What players are you bringing in? Because what players you bring in now, Marios, go away, mate. Marios. And every year, Thomas Frank lost his best players, mate. Every year. By the way, Marios, who brought in Brentford's top goal scorer this season? 10 of the 11 that played the last game. Sorry, 14 of the 15 players that played the last game, all Thomas Frank signings. Isn't it funny you don't mention that? Thomas Frank in his time lost who? Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, right? How many more did he lose during that time? Christian Eriksen during that time. How many players has he lost year after year after year after year after year? Exactly. We all saw him last year, right? Right. Anyway, let's leave it there. I can't be bothered. Marios, when Marios in the chat, I spent too much time on him and he's just ruined it. He used to be really sound and now he's completely flipped from everything he said last year. Listen, guys and girls, I'm going to send you over to Football Inc., to Johnny and to Sean. When you get there, say FHTV raid. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, absolutely, Ellie. Igor Thiago was bought in to be the Ivan Toney replacement and didn't play all last season. How maybe Brentford would have done even better with Ivan Toney alongside Wissa and Mbeumo. Interesting thought, right? By the way, let's see. At the end of the season, let's see where Brentford finish. All these people right now going, they've done much better. Thomas Frank's best finish for Brentford was what, 9th? Hang on, let's see. Let's see Brentford's FC league finishes just before I send you over there. Here you go. League finishes. Let's see, right? So, under Thomas Frank, here we go. Under Thomas Frank in the Premier League, Brentford have finished 13th, 9th, 16th, and 10th. So, 9th. So, Keith Andrews, this year, if he doesn't finish in the top 9, right? If he doesn't finish in the top 9, they're all going to... Again, look, see, people like Rob. Rob just says ridiculous stuff as well. You mean right now they are? If they lose their next game, they could be 10th, and that's worse than where they were. So this is what I mean. You're going from week to week. It's ridiculous. Get to the end of the season and then say he's done well. Keith Andrews picked up a very well-organised football club, Rob. He's kicked on brilliantly, but he picked up a very well-organised squad, right? Let's see at the end of the season. If they finish 9th, they've matched what they did. If they finish 9th, they've matched the best under Thomas Frank. If they finish 8th, they've bettered it. There's a long way to go. And this is the problem. Fans like you don't get it. You go game to game. 5 games ago, I think Brentford hadn't won a game in 5. Now they've had a good 5 games. It swings and it goes. It ebbs and it flows. Wait till the end of the season and see. If they finish above us, it's a disgrace. You mean like last season when they finished above us? Last season, let's see how many points this disgraceful team finished above us. Right, here we go. Last season, they got 56 points. So last season, they finished 18 points clear of Spurs. 18 points clear of Spurs. 18 points. Sorry, Marius, why did they finish 18 points clear of us last season? If Frank's such a bad manager. Frank's such a bad manager, they finished 18 points clear of us. Why? Can't have it both ways, mate. Nope, not true at all. Listen to what I've said. I don't want him sacked now. I want some time. If he gets sacked, he gets sacked. Use your ears. Use your ears. This is really basic listening skills. Right? As I said, fair play to Brentford, a very well-organised club that Frank has helped build for 7 years. It's so funny that everyone backing, look how well Brentford are doing. Thomas Frank and his staff built that, but we don't like him. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. Again, who hounded him out? How old are you, 12? You got a picture of a car in your chat. You must be a grown adult. What, are you 12? I hounded him out. Yes, don't you know the Tottenham board watch my channel and say, oh, Savva doesn't like Ange, we must sack him. How dumb have you got to be? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Oh, and it's Ash. It's mad, isn't it? How dumb some of these people. You're right, Nugget. Some people can't be helped. Again, yeah. So I can hound Ange out, but I can't get rid of ENIC. And I kept Levy here for 25 years. But we're not a big club. That's the problem. Again, Ty, that's the problem. We're not a big club. This is the problem. We're not as big as some as you think. In the last 6 years, we finished in the top 4. We finished in Champions League positions once. That's not a big club. Yeah, but you got to make it clear that it's a joke. No, again, that's not true at all. That's not true at all, idiot. That person's getting time out. Because we've never won the league. We've never won the Champions League. We don't challenge for titles and we don't buy top players. What more do you want? Marios, before I go, give me 3 reasons we're a big club. Go on. This man has just used Chelsea and Man United as the example. Big clubs have won everything. Why are we a big club? Why are we a big club? Compared to those clubs, we're not. Compare it to those clubs. Why are we a big club? Might be a sleeping giant, but we're not a big club right now. Haven't been for years. We had a couple of great years under Poch, and everyone now thinks that we're a massive club. But again, too many children that don't understand football. Savva, why aren't we a big club? Why are we? Why? Why are we? And if we're going to say big, cool, but we're not Man U and Chelsea. We're not City. We're not Liverpool. We're not Arsenal. Anyway, I'm going to send you over to Football Inc. Much love. Take care. Thank you for all the sane ones who keep me sane. Sorry about the trolls. They're always going to be here, unfortunately. Take care. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.